You're listening to She's the Business podcast.
Is your market overcrowded right now? What should you actually do about it? How do you ensure your business stays successful when there are more and more people entering the online space every week? Well, today's episode is going to talk you through 3 different things that you can do when your market is overcrowded. So please stay tuned. It's coming right up.
Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and in my 23 years of business and marketing, I've built many brands to become multi-billion-dollar companies. And just in the last 10 years, I've built 2 online businesses of my own from my dining room table with 2 little babies running around at my feet. I've made it my mission to inspire you to get out of your own way and become the successful business owner who's living the lifestyle you really desire without all the hustle. This is She's the Business podcast, made by women for women. This is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration.
What to do when your market is overcrowded? Well, this has got to be one of the biggest issues facing online service providers, online businesses today. There's been a huge explosion of new people into every market over the last few years as the whole world moved into remote working, and so many people decided that they didn't want to live in the 9-to-5 anymore and thought they'd start up their own business. So with this explosion of players, it can feel like every online marketplace, every niche is super crowded, right? Except that is one way of looking at it. And what should you do if you feel like you're in a place that's really overcrowded? Maybe you even would like to be in a certain market, but have thought against it because of the fact that there are so many other people in it. Well, the good news is being overcrowded is not a reason not to go into that market. It's also not a reason why you won't be successful, because there are successful people in every single market. And it's not about the amount of time that they've been in business. You can just look around you and see examples everywhere of brand new businesses that launch into a market that already exists and have really great success straight up. People who've been in business for years and years and years that are, still struggling along, still really at a level that they've been at only a year or 2 after they started. So what is that difference? Why are some more successful than others? And how can we be more like, I'm going to say the Richard Bransons, because he's so great at going in a market that exists, that's crowded, that's highly competitive, and throwing something totally different into the mix. You can probably think of examples of ones that you've seen. Maybe it's not one of the Virgin brand companies, but examples that you've seen of businesses that have come in to a crowded market. There's already lots of players in there. There's already plenty going on, and they've had something different that they've brought to the table, right? So the first thing is, well, let's not panic, because there's an explosion of people into a market. Yes, so what? There's also an explosion of buyers. There are so many people. We're consuming more and more and more than we ever have before, and especially online. If you're in a business that services other businesses, or in a business that services people, well, there are loads of people in this world. Just have a look at how many there are. And businesses, as we've just said, with the explosion of new players into the market, there are absolutely millions and millions of new business owners. That mean that, there's far more people in your market than you could ever hope to service, than you could never even try to provide services for all of them. So we really don't need to worry about the number of people that are out there and how many of them you're going to get. If you're not currently attracting clients and you're in a crowded market, it's not because the market's crowded. It's simply because they're not getting it. They're not getting what you do. They're seeing somebody else as a better choice for them, a better fit for them. So the next thing you can do when you're in a crowded market is to carve out a space for yourself, a place where you're seen as a really, really good fit, a really great fit, where right now there might be lots of offerings out there, but they may not be wonderful. They might be, yeah, okay, that'll do the job. That's sort of what I want. What if you could be an even better fit? Now, that Seems easy, doesn't it? Yes, it is easy. It doesn't really take a lot. This is actually what we're talking about here is really the process of niching. And niching is about specializing. What is it that you are going to specialize in? Because the more clear you get on that, then the clearer you can be on being the right fit for somebody. Now, some people talk about niching as your target market. Other people talk about it as your specialization. I talk about it as both. It is actually the process of specializing yourself into what you offer and also who you do that for, because the two are very connected and can't really be separated. You can't say you're a specialist in a certain type of service without really saying who that service is for, right? So it's both. When we're talking about your niche, it's about that marketplace that you're playing in, which is not only who the buyers are, but also what it is that you're doing for them. So getting clear on that, getting really, really clear can carve you out a space that potentially didn't exist before. It can, even if it does exist, it can make you a stronger player in that space because suddenly you're seen as more relevant, a closer fit for the people who are looking for that particular thing. They're now off there doing something else, being general. And the type of people who they are serving, who they're there for, are not your ideal customer. So it's a super easy way to feel like you've actually got much, much more space in the market is to specialize, carve out your own space, carve out a place that you can feel like you really own it and you've got authority in it. What happens when you have authority? Well, authority actually helps you create sales because it builds trust. Well, as you may have heard, authority builds trust, and trust, of course, for sales. So when you specialize, that means that you're becoming an authority and you can be an authority in that area that you're a specialist in. It's very hard to be an authority in a general sense, in a general market of anything general, because how can you possibly be seen as an authority when there are other authorities that are more specialized than you in that space? So finding that thing that you want to be an authority in, you've got your value, you've got something to offer, that will set you apart from others, creates that space. And, you know, as we were talking about, the authority creates trust. Trust is essential for sales. So it becomes a lot easier for you to attract customers, for you to sell to customers, because having authority means that they're going to be far more likely to reach out to you, far more likely to want to work with you because you're perceived to be someone who knows what they're talking about. You are an authority, and likely you are someone who knows what you're talking about, aren't you? Because you've chosen to specialize and have expertise in. Okay, so they're the first two steps. We're not going to panic. We're going to carve out a space for ourselves. The third one, and I'm going to steal a line that I heard first from Amy Porterfield. I'm not sure if it's her own one or if it's somebody else's, but I love it. And it's something I apply a lot in my business. And this is called zig when everyone else is zagging. So what we can see when we're in the when we're online, when we're doing business, doesn't matter whether you're on social media or you're whatever space you're playing in there, it can start to feel very same. Everybody's doing the same kind of thing. They're posting the same kind of content. They're talking about the same stuff. You'll hear the same quotes being bandied around. It's very same. Even what they're offering in terms of, come and do a 3-day training with me, it starts to become very same. And when something's the same, it turns into wallpaper, which means it's there on the wall. We walk past it every day and we don't really pay any attention to it. So what I like to do is notice what's going on, what's happening in the market, what other people are doing. And then I do something very different. I do the opposite. If everybody's doing a 3-day live, I'm going to change and do something completely different. If other people are doing a webinar and that's what they're doing for their training, well, I'm going to try a different style of online launch. And yeah, for me, I like that. Maybe it's because I like to be a bit different. I want to stand out. I really don't want to be wallpaper. I also like the creativity of it. I like to feel like I'm doing something that is a bit different, a bit of a breath of fresh air, and not just the same old stuff that you hear everywhere. So zig when other people are zagging. What are you doing right now that is zagging along with all of the other people who are zagging? And how could you do that differently? Have a think about that. Just ask yourself the question. You don't need to go on a big research exercise right now and go and look at everything and micro analyze it, but just hold that question in your mind. And next time you happen to be on your social accounts or, scrolling your email inbox and seeing what the people you've subscribed to are doing, then just start to notice, pay attention, what's feeling same, and what's feeling different, what's new, what's exciting. What do you think you would like to do that could be new or exciting and a bit different to what everybody else is doing? Maybe it's not even new to you. Maybe it's something you've done lots of times before, but it's not what everybody else is doing. Well, that's a great way to be a breath of fresh air, to stand out, to have a space, to be apart from the crowded market. Well, that's it from me today. This was a nice, short, sharp tips episode, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you all next. Bye.
Do you know something? There are so many people that are overcomplicating their marketing, which means that they're running on the marketing treadmill, pumping out so much content, but still not yielding those results, meaning there are no clients actually signing up. Like, what use is an audience if they're not an audience of buyers? What use is it creating great content to share if the people who are reading it have no desire to take that next step to actually working with you? Well, if any of those things are happening for you right now, then it's highly likely that you're simply missing a key in your marketing strategy. And those keys are really simple. There are just 5 of them. And it's about how you align them, put them together. That is the simplicity that makes everything work, just like clockwork, so that you have a consistent stream of what you would consider your dream clients literally turning up in your inbox, ready to have a conversation, ready to sign up with you without you going out there to find them. So let's put an end to cold outreach. Let's put an end to searching for clients in Facebook groups. Let's put an end to just waiting around and relying on referrals to come through from other people. Because when you have that consistent stream of clients, then you're in the place of being able to choose. You've got an abundance of opportunity out there, and all we need to do is turn on the tap for your clients to find you. So I've created a brand new training, and it's called 5 Keys to Clients on Tap. So you can guess what it's about, can't you? Well, this 1-hour short training takes you through those 5 critical keys that you need to have in your business so that you do have clients on tap, and not just any old client, the ones that you most want to be working with, that are going to make you profitable, that are going to fulfill you, are going to make you feel like jumping out of bed every morning because you love your business so much. So you want in? All you need to do is head to jessicaosborne.com/TMF for the magnetic formula. So TMF, and get yourself into the next session that's running for this training. You honestly will not regret it. It is going to change your business, your life, if you've been experiencing any of those problems I mentioned before. Look forward to seeing you in there, and let's do this.